Talk about a crusher. Yes! Oh!
Are you kidding me?
And gone!
Welcome back to the Schoolyard Sports podcast. On this podcast, Lane Frank, renowned episode 201. Yes, we're 201 episodes through, and I got an action-packed episode planned for you. We've got former number one recruit and new UTEP quarterback Malachi Nelson in studio today to join the show. We'll be breaking down the Super Bowl between the Chiefs and the Eagles, and of course, the biggest news of the week. Luka is a Los Angeles Laker. It's going to be a great episode. Stay tuned. Episode 201 coming up right now. Let's start off episode 201, how we always do, with our headlines and the NBA. Of course, the thing everybody wants to talk about in the NBA, Luka Doncic being a Los Angeles Laker, everybody. Getting traded away from the Dallas Mavericks, heading over to the Lakers. Now, I've got a breakdown plan for this later in the episode, so I'm not going to get too into the details right now, but of course, Luka Doncic and Maxi Kleber in exchange for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and one first-round pick. Whew! Kind of crazy right there. We've also got a three-way deal in the NBA. We got De'Aaron Fox from the Kings heading over to the Spurs, and Zach LaVine heading over to the Sacramento Kings. Zach LaVine, a guy who I think it's an interesting trade because Zach LaVine, back in 2018, he was a restricted free agent, actually signed with the Kings. Then the Bulls ended up matching that offer. He went back to Chicago. Now he makes his way to Sacramento. Kind of interesting how it all works out. For De'Aaron Fox, he has a running mate to run with now in Victor Wembanyama. Tough for Domantas Sabonis and the Kings. Great stuff right here for Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox. That's about for the news in the NBA. In the NFL, we've got the Super Bowl this week, everybody. Chiefs versus Eagles. Schoolyard Sports NFL Game Days. Gonna be a classic with our Super Bowl pick. Can't wait for it. Don't want to talk too much about it right now, but Chiefs, Eagles, a Super Bowl rematch of just 2 years ago. Can't wait for it. That's really all the news we got for the headlines this week. Still a lot more to come on Schoolyard Sports Lane Frank, episode 201. Coming up next, interview with former number one recruit in the country, Malachi Nelson. Stay tuned. All right, Schoolyard Sports fans, let's continue this great episode 201 by bringing in our second ever in-studio guest, the former 2023 number one recruit in the country, Malachi Nelson, and new UTEP football quarterback. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Happy to be here, brother.
Glad to have you on. You know, it's been in works for a while. You know the story of how, you kind of got here?
I heard it was all you. I heard nothing else, man.
I don't always love to take credit, but, when I did join UTEP NIL advisory board, was loving about that. And, I knew you from when you were in high school, went to Oklahoma, decommitted from Oklahoma, went to USC.
Yep.
So when you were in the portal, I was like, let's see if UTEP can go get this guy. He can change around the program, be that game changer for the program. So just really glad to have you here.
No, I'm happy to be here, man. It's been great so far. So, yes, sir.
So what really attracted you to UTEP? Was it the Coach Walton system? Was it El Paso? What was your favorite part? I know you took a visit. What really attracted you to UTEP?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say, it was Coach Walton played a big part in it for sure. I've always been a big relationship guy, and throughout the process, it was going to visiting a few different schools, and throughout the process, I genuinely, I talked with some people who I trusted, and they were like, you're not going to be wrong, based in, your decision off of where you feel most comfortable, where you have the best, relationship with the people, right? And, throughout the process, it was, like I said, visiting a few different schools, and it didn't feel right. A few felt transactional, or it didn't feel right, or whatever the case may be. But here, I mean, I went home after the visit, and I ended up taking another visit after this visit as well. And, I just remember going back home and talking with my family and with my girlfriend, and like, dude, like, you need to be where, you feel the most comfortable. And it was here, right? And I talked with Coach Walton. I called Coach Walton, and he talked me through it. We had a conversation man to man. It wasn't a conversation like come here, we want, like, it was straight man to man, right? And we had that, and I didn't feel like I could have that with anybody else. So to answer your question, I would say it was definitely him and how he made me feel, how he made my family feel, and obviously all the offense and all that type of stuff is definitely a bonus. So
I think growing up in El Paso, people really like this community, but they like UTEP, they like UTEP football, UTEP basketball. You don't always have the most success in El Paso. So there was excitement when Coach Walden came. There's even more excitement with you right now. I think people are really excited with those first 2 games, hopefully being undefeated going into week 3 in Austin at Texas.
Definitely. No, I'm excited, man. It's we're playing some familiar faces. We played Utah State last year, so I'm excited, man. Opening up the season and I'm ready to get rolling, start throwing the ball around. You know what I'm saying? This time of year, it's a lot of weightlifting and all that, but all that's good. But start throwing that football around and get straight to it. I'm excited.
I think that's what everybody wants to hear. So you're obviously a huge recruit in high school, and then you're even a bigger recruit, you could say, in the transfer portal. What's the difference like being recruited in the transfer portal and then high school recruiting?
It's a great question. I feel like in the transfer portal, it's a lot different. The reason being is because a lot of times, right, you have maybe 1 more chance, 2 more chances. You got to figure, it out, make sure you're making the right decision, right? Especially for me, right, in my position here, this is my last shot, right? I need to succeed. I need to make this work, right? And throughout that process, it was a little more stressful, obviously, because it's where am I going to be wanted, where am I needed, right, and where am I going to fit, the scheme, the environment, the culture, right, And coming out of high school, it's for a lot of kids nowadays, right? Is where can I go get paid the most, or where can I go do this or that? But that's just not right. It's where can I go get developed and be, in the best situation, best system for me to go and succeed at the highest level, which is, most of these kids' dreams, right? So, for me, I would say the biggest difference is just how important it is, right? How important the next move is, because in the portal, everything happens fast, right? There's thousands and thousands of kids in the portal that just aren't going to find homes, right? So it's almost having a plan before you even get in, right? In your head, like this could work this way, this could work that way, and it's just how stressful it is. The other thing is how fast it happens, right? Everything happens like how it opens, how it closes, and how it spots fill up, especially at my position, right? So I would say that's the biggest thing, right? You can go choose a college coming out of high school that has 5 quarterbacks in the room and go get developed and go do those things, but a lot of times it's hard, at the next level to do that, right? Or when you're in the portal. So
yeah, I really say your process shows that it wasn't just about the NIL, especially because when you were first recruiting in high school, you committed to Oklahoma before NIL was a thing. Then you followed Coach Riley to USC. Then you went to Boise State to follow that system. Now you're here at UTEP. So I really think that's something to show people.
I appreciate that,
I saw you said in the past that you wanted to be just a worldwide name outside of football. I think that's probably easier to become in the new college football world with NIL and new college sports. How has that helped you?
Yeah, man. With NIL, it's a blessing and a curse in a lot of ways, right? You look at it. I've had the same view on it, since it really started, right? And everybody's still learning, their way. It's still new. You know what I mean? It's still a couple years. We're still right in the beginning of it. So for me, I always wanted to keep the goal. You hear keep the main thing, right? The goal was to make it to the NFL. So for me, going through it when I was at USC, going to Boise, now making the decision to come here, where can I go get developed, and be, nurtured and coached to go to the next level. And, that's what it's been. It's been finding that. And NIL obviously is important now, finding, I'm not speaking for me, but to build a team around you, right? You have kids in the portal who are looking to support their families, who are married, who have kids, right? And it's something that can help, right? It could really, really help kids. And, people have bills, they have all these things nowadays that, NIL is a huge supporter of that. But then you have, the kids who grew up like, man, I just want to make it to the NFL, right? My only dream is to make it to the NFL. And then you get to the point where they are coming out of high school or in the portal, and they're like, where can I go get the most money, right? All the stuff, all the dreams and all that type of stuff, all the aspirations are gone because they truly believe that the only thing that matters in this moment is money, right? So that's where it hurts me, seeing that, right? And it's hard because you've seen so many kids who are talented and going here because of money or this, that, and then their career is gone or it just doesn't work out, which sucks, man. It's tough. But that's what it is, right? That's the nature of the game. That's the nature of the beast with NIL. But I do genuinely believe that there's more good than bad, and I think that when it's used in the right way, it's a really, really cool thing that's implemented. So
I think that's a really great perspective you have on, sometimes guys can get lost in NIL. Maybe they can transfer to a school just based off money and then the career gets ruined off that. We've seen that before in college football, college basketball, every sport. So I think the way you're taking it's a great path.
Definitely. No, I agree.
So you're in 8th grade. Kenny Dillingham at Auburn gives you a call, gives you an offer. Now,
This man knows his stuff, man.
Now, obviously, now he's big time at Arizona State. But when you got that Auburn offer in 8th grade, was there ever that thought of like, yeah, maybe I will play in the SEC?
Yeah.
When you committed to Oklahoma, they could have been in the SEC by the time you were playing there.
Yeah.
So.
No, I gotta give a shout out to Dillingham, man. That's my guy. He's
a great coach.
He offered me at Auburn, like you said, 8th grade. Then went to Florida State, and I think Oregon after that, Arizona State. So he's been all over. But that's my guy, man. I talked with him a few months ago back, and he's a great guy.
Yeah, he's built a great
they had a great year this year as well. Yeah, I mean, I think playing, at that highest level is something you dream of, something that's exciting, right? But, as it went on, obviously, like you said, you know everything. I don't got to tell you anything. He committed to Oklahoma and, went on to go to USC and Boise and all that. But, the thing for me, right, I mean, you play big-time football no matter where you're at, and you see that here, right? This is not the Power 4 school, right? But we're playing Texas week 3, man. And, playing those games, right? We played at Oregon last year when I was at Boise State, and you go into those games. I remember talking with the other quarterback, like before the games, like that's the best feeling, man. You're playing with house money. You know what I mean? Right. You're playing. You're expected to lose. You're expected to go in there and get your teeth kicked in, right? So that's the fun part of it, right? You're playing you're playing loose, you're playing free, you're expected to do terrible. So you know what I mean? You go in there and you just have fun. One of my favorite sayings is when they're like, when they're talking about everybody ties their cleats the same. I mean, they have to get ready, for the game just like we do, and we go out there and play football. The things that we've been playing since we were, since I was 6 years old, playing tackle football on the blacktop and at lunchtime. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. So I think it's exciting. But to answer your question, man, you find big time football finds you. You know what I mean? It finds the people who are ready for it, and I'm just excited to get an opportunity to go and go play that type of football, play those guys, right? So it's gonna be exciting.
I think that week 3 games can be big time for both fan bases because, you obviously don't have a ton of starts under your belt. Neither does Arch Manning, though. And that could be, one of his first games. So that'd be a really fun matchup. Both of you guys were in the same recruiting class. If we could see that matchup, you versus Arch Manning week 3.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'm excited. I think, it's going to be super fun to go play a big time game like that. So it'll be exciting.
You played with a ton of great guys in your career, great receivers, great pass catchers. But if you were to give me your dream receiving core, it could be NFL, it could be college, it could be, guys you never played with. Who would it be?
Oof, that's a
quarterback's dream.
That's a good question. Man, put me on the spot with that one. I'm gonna go 11 so I'm gonna pick a tight end as well. Okay. So outside, I gotta go Randy Moss. Okay. Gotta go Randy Moss outside. I gotta put him at X. Let's see, at H. In the slot, I'm gonna put Stephon Diggs, a newer guy. I like him, a savvy guy. Put him in the slot. Man, that tight end spot, I'm trying to think. Oof. I like Travis Kelce.
He's a good pass catcher.
Yeah,
the best
I like I got to go Travis Kelce in that position. And then at the Z spot, man, I'm going to go Megatron. At that Z spot.
So you got some big ball catchers
big body, yeah. Makes it easier when you got some big guys out there.
My favorite guy to watch in the NFL receivers, Malik Neighbors. I think he could be great in any offense because he's not necessarily going to go up there and grab it, but, he might be the fastest guy in any field.
Yeah, no, he's a tough guy to guard for sure.
He's a great guy. He's a great player for the Giants. Didn't play too much this year, but with those injuries, but still had a great season.
Definitely.
You've been comparing the past to, Bryce Young, Marcus Mariota. Would you say those are guys that, you resemble your game after? Or is there another guy, you think you like to play after?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, those are two, really, really great football players. My dad will tell you Bryce grew up with around him, obviously, in Los Angeles, and being from the same area, you grow up, you see the kid like him and CJ and DJ Uiagalelei and all those types of guys. And, growing up with those types of guys and watching them, I mean, when I was young, right? I mean, Bryce is somebody I've looked up to forever, and definitely take things from his game and his composure and the way he reads defenses and how he has almost they call it like a disability, right, with his height and those types of things, and how he makes up for it with the things that he does. He's a savvy guy, so I definitely watch him and enjoy watching him. Marcus is the same way. I remember watching him against Florida State when I forget how old I was at that time, but when he was playing at the Rose Bowl, I mean, that's that I looked up to him as well. So two guys for sure. But to for me, some guys that I look up to in the league are Aaron Rodgers. I love watching him. I also really enjoy watching Matthew Stafford. So I'd say those are my two guys that I really like to watch. C.J. Stroud as well, and obviously Patrick Mahomes and the things. But I like to take things from certain people. I'm not like, oh, this is all I watch, right? I take a few things from this person, that person, and kind of try and put it into one. So those are some of the guys I watch.
Nice. College football road environments, they can get crazy. These stadiums can get crazy. What's one stadium in college football you'd love to start in?
Oof, that's a good question. I was just watching my buddy answer the question, Jackson Dart. I was watching it like on my way here. He said that some of the stadiums, I forget what he said was the craziest one. I'll tell you, the craziest stadium I played in so far was Notre Dame. It was wild. That was wild, man. I played my freshman year. I was there. That stadium environment was really, really cool. So I would love to go back there and start there. That'll be fun. I'm trying to think. I mean, Texas will be fun next year. You know what I mean? But I mean, you want to play at all of them. Death Valley. I remember going to a game there on a recruiting visit. That's a fun one for sure. And then A&M as well. So you got a lot of schools that are exciting environments. In college football. And that's what's awesome about it. But I'm excited, man, to play here, Sun City, man, Sun Bowl, man. I'm excited to get rolling there and pack that thing out. I've seen the pictures of when it was rolling, and that's the stadium that we need to pack out first. I think we got to pack that one out, sell it out, and we'll go from there.
I'm a Michigan guy, and that's the biggest stadium in the world.
Yep.
UTEP plays there week 3, 2026. We could see you make a start there. That'd be crazy.
That would be wild.
Hopefully I'll be at Michigan as a student then. We could I have to root against you on that one, I'd say.
Oh, man.
Go for Michigan there, but I think everybody in El Paso would hate me for that one. Your teammate, Ashton Jeanty, obviously he had a great year. He was a great running back. Do you think he should have won the Heisman over Travis Hunter?
I do. I mean, I agree. I definitely do.
Agree.
I think Ashton, he was somebody who, I moved to Boise, didn't know anybody, and Ashton was one of the first people who, reached out to me, and obviously we're on the same team, but we would go out to eat all the time, and he was somebody who was a good friend to me, and I know the way he works off the field. I personally, I've played on a lot. I played with a lot of good football players. Played with Caleb Williams, and all. I think he's one of the best players, if not the best player I've ever touched the field with. Man, he's special. He's special, man, and I definitely think he deserved it. To say the least. Travis, that takes nothing away from what Travis is and what you can do. But I don't think we'll ever see a running back do what he did this year ever again. So.
I think they both had great seasons, but I've never seen a running back do what Ashton did. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was wild.
Let's switch things over to the pros. I know you're a California guy. I know you're a Lakers fan. Last night, I think we all went a little bit crazy when Luka Doncic gets traded to the Lakers. I can't wait to talk about it on this show, but I want to get your thoughts because when I saw it, first, I didn't think it was real. Second, I came here, I made my reaction video. Third, I'm like, well, the NBA is set now. The NBA is born to watch. NBA is a little bit hard to market right now. I still watch it, but this is what might save the NBA. This is a great deal for the Lakers, great deal for Luka. I love it.
It's crazy. Yeah. Obviously, Los Angeles boy, man. I'm definitely a Lakers fan. So, as long as we can win some games, go win a championship, I'm all for it. But Luka definitely helps with that. I was asleep last night early, and I woke up and saw it, and I thought it was fake too. But yeah, man, it's exciting. I'm gonna miss AD though for sure. Miss AD. Miss him down in that post. But I think it's gonna be exciting to watch. I'm excited to see what they do, and what JJ draws up for those guys. It'll be fun to watch for sure.
I think to see two of the most skilled players of all time, LeBron and Luka, on the same court before LeBron's career ends. That's what you dream of.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. I can't wait to watch. Definitely gonna have to go check one of those games out.
Can't wait for it. We got the Super Bowl coming up. Eagles versus Chiefs. It's gonna be a great game. Rematch 2 years ago. I still can't decide who my pick is. I think the Eagles are a great team. Andy Reid's my guy. I've had him on here before. I can't really go against him, but it's gonna be tough to pick that one. Who are you gonna pick?
I don't think you can bet against the Chiefs. I genuinely don't. I don't see a world they don't win. But then the Eagles, man, they've been playing well this whole year. They're sleepy, right? Or they're sleeper. And a couple years ago, they barely missed out on that. So, I don't think there's a better chance for them than now. Right? I don't think there's a better chance for them than right now and in this moment. So it'll be exciting to see, man. I'm excited to watch it and just. You don't got a horse in the race. Just sit back and watch go football. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting.
Last one I got for you right here. We got a big season coming up. Hopefully you'll be our starting quarterback. What is the main message you can send to Miner Nation for this season?
Oof, that's a great question. For me, I want to see the stadium packed out. I want to see the stadium packed out, man. I think we got to get it back to what it's been, and I promise you we're going to win some football games. I promise you we're going to win some football games, and it's going to be exciting to watch. It's going to be electric. We got some good guys, some good support staff, around the football team, and it's going to be really, really exciting to watch. So if you're not there, you're going to be missing out. It's going to be electric in that stadium, and I want to see it, packed out, the way it's been in the past. So that's all I can say. You're going to have to see the rest on the field.
Hey, I'll be there. Everybody in El Paso, you should be there too. This is great. Thank you so much for coming
Definitely.
on. Best
thank
of luck
you for having
next
me.
season.
Appreciate it.
Great to be here. All right, Schoolyard Sports fans, still more to come on Schoolyard Sports Lane Frank, episode 201. Now, the big one, everybody. The big game that we wait all year for. The Super Bowl. Chiefs versus the Eagles. I say it every week for everybody. The Chiefs do enough. They get the job. They get the win. Eagles are a great team. Eagles might be the most well-rounded team in the NFL. I'll say this right here. The Eagles have a better roster than the Chiefs. Now, just because you have the better roster doesn't make you the better team. Just because you're the better team doesn't mean you're going to win this game. The Chiefs overall might be the better team. They might have better coaching, better chemistry, and then when you all put it together, it might be better than the Eagles. Does that mean they're going to win this game with that only by itself? No. It's going to be a dogfight this game. This game isn't decided at all. It's going to be a great game. And I've got a hot take to throw at you right here. It's going to be a very low-scoring Super Bowl. I see Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts both combining for 4 turnovers in this game. Whether Jalen Hurts fumbles the ball, whether he throws interceptions, whether Patrick Mahomes fumbles, throws interceptions to that legendary, you could say, Eagles secondary, you got right now, or at least legendary in the making of Reed Blankenship, Cooper DeJean, Darius Slay, Quinyon Mitchell. You got a mix of vets and young guys. It's a really great secondary. Also a great linebacker core they have going over there, led by Nakobe Dean. The defensive line, you have Brandon Graham, who has obviously been banged up this year, and Jalen Carter has really stepped into that leadership role on that defensive line. For the Eagles' offensive line, it's also incredible. So the Eagles have a great roster. We know that. And Saquon Barkley, we know, is the best running back in the NFL. But the Chiefs have a great interior defensive line. Chris Jones, I think he shuts down Saquon Barkley. I actually think Steve Spagnuolo, Chiefs defense coordinator, sets up a plan to shut down Saquon Barkley and this Eagles offense. And let me tell you this right here. If you can shut down the Eagles, if you can shut down Saquon Barkley, and you can shut down Jalen Hurts, because if you can neutralize Jalen Hurts by not letting him throw for, say, 350 yards and run for another 100, if you can make him make turnovers and you can let Saquon Barkley have less than 100 yards in this game, he can have 90. As long as he doesn't get over 100, I think the Chiefs win this game, no doubt. But like I said, we're on an even playing field here. We're in New Orleans. It's a neutral site. It's a Super Bowl. Andy Reid, he wants to beat his former team in the Super Bowl for the 2nd time. Patrick Mahomes, he wants a 4th Super Bowl, the three-peat. He wants it. And I think they do it, everybody. The Chiefs are your 2025 Super Bowl champions. I say it every week, and we're going to say it again. The Chiefs do enough, they get the job done, and they get the win. Go back, look at the Chiefs games up until this point. Every single of their 19 games has been a very close, non-blowout game. For the Eagles, they have a bunch of blowouts. Look at last week, where they won 55-23 over the Commanders. They can blow out teams. Every team can blow out teams. But the Chiefs, it seemed like they weren't going to murder these teams. They weren't going to kill the Raiders. They weren't going to kill the Broncos. They actually lost to the Broncos one game this year. Another one they probably could have lost if not for that block kick. The Chiefs are a great team. And I love the way they played football all year. And I think they're a true testament of they let their guys be healthy. They didn't want to be world beaters. They wanted to just win the games, be beaters, win these games. And that's exactly what they did all year long. And that's exactly what they're going to do in this game. Chiefs, Super Bowl champions 2025. That's my prediction for the Super Bowl. Get ready for a lot of great content on the Schoolyard Sports Instagram and Twitter on Super Bowl Sunday. Stay tuned. Now, top 5. And for this week's top 5, I want to take a schoolyard approach to it. Now, you know me, I'm a kid, I play video games, especially sports video games. We've had some great ones over the years. You can look at maybe some of 2K16, maybe MLB The Show 17, college football 25. We've always great sports video games. So I'm going to give you my top 5 favorite sports video game covers of all time are. Not my favorite games, my favorite covers. Let's hop into it. Number 5, and this one kind of goes with maybe what my favorite game ever was, and that's MLB The Show 17, Ken Griffey Jr. cover. This is right when Ken Griffey made the Hall of Fame. They took a different approach. They didn't want to put an active player in the cover. They wanted to put a Hall of Famer on the cover. That's what Ken Griffey was. His Seattle Mariners days. That was a great cover. MLB The Show 17, San Diego Studios did a great job with that one. Ken Griffey Jr., number 5. MLB Show 17. Number 4, because it's classic and because we just got it, College Football 25, a cover of Quinn Ewers, Travis Hunter, and Donovan Edwards. It was a great cover. It was a great video game. Yes, I may have over 300 hours on it, but don't check that. 4, College Football 25. Number 3, a great video game cover, NBA 2K16. Right when Steph Curry really had his breakout moment, he was on the cover, Anthony Davis was on the cover, and James Harden was on the cover. Great 3 athletes, great 3 NBA players. I love that cover. That's number 3 on my list. Number 2, which is Odell Beckham Jr. on the cover of Madden 16. Now, Madden Mobile 16, that was also a great game. But same cover. You look at the cover, it's Odell Beckham Jr. reaching back there, getting his incredible one-handed catch, which really set a trend where every time somebody's in the pool with a football, they say, hey, Odell me. You go for the one-handed catch. Yes, Odell set a trend with that catch. Yes, Odell changed the landscape of one-handed catches right there. And we've got, of course, the Madden 16 cover. 2, Odell Beckham Jr. on the cover of Madden 16. And number 1, the best sports video game cover of all time goes to Madden 22, where Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady shared the cover. Now, right now, it may not seem as incredible, but in a few years, Mahomes' career is done, and these are the top 2 players of all time. That cover is going to be legendary. That's about our top 5 this week. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Now, did you know, this week's Did You Know is, did you know Jalen Hurts broke the curse of quarterbacks who lost their first Super Bowl? Because yes, the quarterbacks who have lost their first Super Bowl historically never make it back to the Super Bowl. So Jalen Hurts is the first quarterback since 1991, Jim Kelly and the Bills, to lose his first Super Bowl and then make it back to the promised land with another chance to win the Super Bowl. Will he do it on Sunday? I say no. That's the Did You Know. Leave your thoughts in the comments. It's time we talk about it, everybody. And when I say it's time we talk about it, the it is the Luka Doncic trade to the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's break it down. So first things first, it's 11:13 p.m. in El Paso, Mountain Town. That's where I live. And I get the alert. Luka Doncic traded to the Los Angeles Lakers by Shams Charania. First, I thought it was fake tweet, thought it was fake account. Then I go to the account. Okay, it's a real account. All right, he obviously got hacked because this trade looks so fake that he obviously got hacked. But no, this trade was real. And that got confirmed about 10 minutes later from a bunch of sources around the league. And then you start to think, wow. Because I watched the Lakers play at night. They played the New York Knicks. They actually beat the New York Knicks. And they didn't look so bad in that game. They actually played well. They looked like a team that could win a championship without Luka Doncic. But Luka Doncic is going to be great for this team. And I think one thing that Nico Harrison, Mavericks GM, messed up on this was he really wanted to make a move. He really did. He wanted to do something that would change his franchise because maybe he felt they were in a stale state. This was not the move that gets you out of that stale state. Maybe firing your coach. Not firing Jason Kidd, because Jason Kidd's a great coach. Maybe you could have got rid of somebody else. But who else do you get rid of? Because Luka's the only superstar in this team. Kyrie Irving, you could say, is a star. I wouldn't call Kyrie Irving a superstar anymore. That's just me. Maybe I just don't like Kyrie Irving. Maybe you think he's a superstar. Maybe you think Kyrie's better than Luka Doncic. I definitely don't think so. But for Nico Harrison to trade Luka Doncic over to the Los Angeles Lakers sets a statement, not just to the Mavericks, but to the whole entire NBA. And maybe he shopped Luka around. They say he didn't. He says he didn't. I think he shopped Luka around. I think he probably called up San Antonio, said, hey, can you give me Victor Wembanyama for Luka Doncic? San Antonio probably said no, even though if I was San Antonio, I'm saying yes to that deal. Victor Wembanyama is 20 years old. Luka Doncic is 25. But if you can get Luka Doncic, paired up with Stephon Castle, a few other guys, maybe you have a terrible end to your year. You get Cooper Flagg next year. You have Luka and Cooper Flagg. They can still get the number 1 pick this year. But now they have Victor Wembanyama, De'Aaron Fox. I don't see that being a possibility where they get that number 1 pick. But the fact that they didn't shop Luka Doncic around, the fact that they probably just shopped him to LA, they wanted this to get done. Adam Silver wanted this to get done. They wanted the Lakers to be the biggest brand in basketball again. Now, yes, of course, they're a huge brand in North American sports, but they wanted them to be in that spotlight again. They didn't want them to go through the stale stages again. They didn't want them to go through their 2010s horrible stage where from, I guess, say 2014 to 2020, they had nothing. The late years of Kobe Bryant, he didn't play well for this team. They were an old team. They didn't have many stars. Don't give me Julius Randle, he was good for this team. They had the number 2 pick every year. They had Brandon Ingram. They had Lonzo Ball. They had Josh Hart. They had a few good young guys, but they weren't going to do anything with that. And I'm worried that the NBA, or the Lakers at least, thought that they didn't want to get stuck in that again. They didn't want to have to deal with getting number 1 pick every year, getting number 2 pick every year. Or maybe you get stuck with number 7 pick. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with being a mid-level team? Because that's what it's going to look like without LeBron James. Now you get Luka Doncic, who's 25 years old, who's younger right now than LeBron was when he went to Miami. And we all know how LeBron did in Miami. 2 championships, a great career there, went back to Cleveland. Luka can play for another 15 years. No joke. LeBron's 40, he's playing. Now, Luka Doncic, of course, does not have the conditioning that, say, LeBron James does. But Luka can play till 37. He can play for 12 more years. He could sign that Supermax with the Lakers. It'll be a little bit less than the Supermax would have been with the Mavericks. Could have been up to $350 million with the Mavericks. Could be up to $250 million with the Lakers because he's been traded now. But Luka Doncic and the Los Angeles Lakers, it's going to be a great thing. For Nico Harrison to make this mistake. Funny story, I'll digress here for a second. I met Nico Harrison. I took a meeting back at Nike in 2018 with Howard White. Met Howard White there in 2018. I was, a little kid, of course, but met Howard White at the Nike headquarters. And Nico Harrison, who was a Nike executive at the time, walks into that meeting. And now, of course, Nico Harrison, the Mavericks GM, the biggest person who everybody loves to hate in the NBA right now. I don't think I've ever seen a GM get this much publicity to where everybody goes by him on a first name basis now. I think only Mavericks fans knew who Nico Harrison was going to Saturday night. After Saturday night, I think the whole NBA world knows who Nico Harrison is. So, huge deal by the Mavericks. Huge deal by Nico Harrison. Jason Kidd doesn't look happy about it as the head coach of the Mavericks. Rob Pelinka fleeced the Mavericks, and the Lakers are set for the future. That's my GM hat, my take on this Luka Doncic huge mega trade to the Lakers. Now, at the buzzer. This week's At the Buzzer is, I talked about it on the ESPN 600 El Paso radio show, which I hosted for 3 hours this week. I talked about it with my co-host, UTEP Quarterback, Kay McConnell, and I said, what's like your best breaking news moment ever? Where were you when, let's say a Bryce Underwood committed to Michigan or a Luka Doncic gets traded over to the Los Angeles Lakers? What's your favorite breaking news moment of all time? He brought up LeBron going to the Miami Heat. I just had a few people, the producers of the show, DB Podcast, say when Wayne Gretzky left the Edmonton Oilers, got traded over to the LA Kings, that was obviously a big moment. And I'm not a huge hockey guy. I'm also, a bit young to remember that, but I think that was a very big moment in sports history. But for me, I'll say Bryce Underwood flipping to my Michigan Wolverines. Definitely a great moment, getting out of practice and getting that news. That's about for At the Buzzer this week. Now, question of the day. This week's question is, what is your favorite trade deadline day? Is it NBA trade deadline day? Is it deadline day in the NFL, MLB? Obviously, trade deadline day can be a massive thing in any sport. What's your favorite trade deadline day? That's about for question of the day this week. That's about for Schoolyard Sports, Lane Frank, episode 201. Thank you for tuning in. Follow Schoolyard Sports on Instagram at Schoolyard Sports. Follow Schoolyard Sports on X at Schoolyard Sport. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review for the best sports content in the world. Be back next week, episode 202. Stay tuned.